guys, we are going to do some review for our EOC. You should have this packet. This is just some review problems. These are things that you may have covered back at the very beginning of Algebra A, maybe even back in middle school, but it's just some basic things that we need to make sure that we have a good grasp on before we go any further and before we review any further. So let's just walk through this. There are 3 pages that you are going to need to complete. You should have plenty of time in class to get this finished. Just want to reiterate what a few of these things mean. If we see these bars around a number, that means absolute value. Remember, absolute value is not the opposite. Absolute value means how many units away from 0 is a number. Your job on numbers 1 through 4 is to decide if we want to use, or if we should use, the greater than symbol, the less than symbol, or the equals symbol between these two numbers. So you're going to have to evaluate each side of the problem to determine if one side is larger or the other, or if maybe they're both equal. On numbers 5 through 8, you're writing the numbers in order from least to greatest. Make sure you do follow those directions, because sometimes on the EOC they may switch it up. They may say greatest to least. So make sure you're watching that. We want least to greatest. You should be able to change these into decimal or integer values that are going to be easier to arrange. Now, some of these, like on number 6, are written in scientific notation. We've done that. You could type that into your calculator to get the answer in standard form, or you can use what you know about changing from scientific to standard form to get that into a decimal answer that's going to be easier to calculate. Now remember, 17%, anytime we use a percentage, that needs to be converted to a decimal, so that would be 0.17. Pi on 7, pi is a number, if you don't know, 3.14. That is a number that we need to utilize. 9 and 10 are just some multiple choice questions that you should be able to answer. On the next page, you are using this number line along the top to answer these questions. 7 and 8, again, you're ordering numbers from least to greatest. 8 is greatest to least, so make sure you are paying attention to the directions for each of those. Again, I would recommend changing them all to decimals or maybe integers that are going to be more helpful in you ordering them. On the next page, we are practicing our scientific notation. Just as a refresher here, scientific notation is when you have, for example, looking at number 1, there is a decimal that appears after that last 0. We're going to move that decimal to the left until we have 1 digit. Now that 1 digit, remember, needs to be between greater than 0 but less than 10. So really numbers between 1 and 9, including 1 and 9. Our number is going to be 3.5 times 10 to what power? Well, how many places did we move that decimal? Well, 3, 6, 9 places. In class, we said if this is a really big number, as it is, then our exponent is going to be a positive number. It's going to be a positive 9. If you look at number 2, that's a really small number. So when we move our decimal, 1, 2, 3, we have 6.7 times 10 to the negative 3 power. And again, this time it's negative because we have a very small number. 7 through 12, you are writing those into standard form. Remember, if you have a exponent that's positive, we're trying to make our number very big. But if you have an exponent that's negative, we're trying to move that decimal so it's going to be a really small number. 13 to 16, you are writing your answers in scientific notation. And that should be it. If you guys finish in class, Mrs. Quinn has the answer key and you should be able to grade it. You can grade your own paper, just be honest. Grade with a pen, marker, crayon, something other than a pencil. Each problem will be worth 1 point, unless stated otherwise on the answer key. We will take a quiz over this material on Monday, so we'll review briefly and then take a quiz Monday, and then continue on with our review.